Merry Christmas and happy free agency in college football. Thousands upon thousands of players will enter the portal, but only a few will escape, and a few make their way to Baylor University. This is Locked On Baylor.
You are Locked On Baylor, your daily podcast on the Baylor Bears, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Baylor. Drake Toll alongside Cameron Stuart. Both of us work for Sports Illustrated's Inside the Bears. Cam actually quit his day job to become a telemarketer. I asked him, I pled, one or the other, that he not wear the headset, but here he is.
The people wanted the headset. They call me the headset. I usually wear it so I could throw it off in disgust when you make me mad.
Well, hopefully I don't make you mad today, because that's a topic we should agree on with which players. You have a short list of players out of the transfer portal that should come to Baylor University. The Baylor should target. They'll be great Bears. Now, I want to preface, first and foremost, thank you all for making Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. Second most, there's about a 96% chance that none of these players come to Baylor. Oh, there is a shot.
You're
but
putting it as low as 96?
But
you have some confidence in me. I like that.
How neat would it be if any of these guys were future Baylor Bears? Because look, it's a toss-up at this point. You can go to guys and be like, this guy's great uncle played at Baylor in the 40s, so maybe. But
yeah.
Anybody, DJ Ugalele, don't know if that's how you say his name.
Ugalele.
Of course, I still struggle with that. Or the kid from Virginia, he was good at once upon a time. He was supposed to be like Heisman candidate-ish. Anybody else? Look, throw out a name. They got a fighter's chance.
Do they have to be quarterbacks?
No, they don't.
Okay, gotcha.
You
just listed 2 quarterbacks.
I did. What do you want? That's all I got. That's all I know.
I know, dude. That's what's so great about this is everyone's so excited about it, and you're like, all right, who should Baylor get? And then you're like,
quarterback?
Good question. Good question. They should get someone that will play next year. They got the Siaki Ika guy a couple years ago. He was good. The portal is so interesting now, Drake. It really is. And I think I'm the first person to have that take. But we're literally going to see. I think what was it, 3,000 last year? We might see more than that this year. Almost 1,000.
I think it was 3,000 and under 1,000 actually found landing spots.
And I had that tweet yesterday that was a little not great journalistically. I was just like, I have a bad feeling, which didn't end up coming true, of like, I just think something bad is going to happen to Baylor in the transfer portal today. Someone's going to announce. And someone rightfully commented and was like, are you hearing this somewhere? And I was like, no, just bad vibes, because there's nothing that, like, back a couple years ago, we'd be like, oh, new head coach, guys are going to leave. Or this guy, Spencer Rattler situation where he got unseated, he's going to leave. Now it's not even really the case. No one saw the Devin Neal thing coming. Not like it's going to kill Baylor, but you're just like, oh, didn't think he was going to leave.
For sure.
And so now I'm just like, well, Baylor is losing its defensive coordinator, and it's a 6-6 season after a 12-2 season. So you just don't know. And obviously that was only day one, but it's kind of the Wild West in terms of not just like these guys can go wherever, but you don't know which guys are going to leave your school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to recruit your own guys, basically. Was that a good way of putting it?
Sure, yes. So Baylor didn't get any commitments day one, but they didn't lose anyone day one. So that's a win. You did lose Kyron Drones, who, by the way, is a good quarterback and is right now.
I think you've lost Kyron Drones, yeah.
Kyron is currently the 6th best player, as according to 24/7 in the portal. That doesn't feel great. You lost Devin Neal too. See ya, I guess. Like, thanks for your time, but also Baylor fans are really good at being really kind. You can be kind and say bye, have fun, but they don't play for Baylor anymore. They literally told you they don't want to play for your school. You don't have to be like, oh man, hope that kid wins the Heisman one day. I don't. Thanks for your service, Devin Neal. See you wherever.
Devin Neal for Heisman?
I've heard people are saying
that. People are saying
where
that's
will
tomorrow's episode.
Devin Neal will end up at North Texas, which is a fine school. Great people on both sides.
Maybe, yeah.
Who's your people? You've got a short list here of guys that are going to go to Baylor.
I do. So this is on InsideTheBears.com, and
I work for that.
I'm glad you prefaced it a little bit because it really is like I don't have any sources on this one. I'm just see these guys in the transfer portal, know they've got names, and I'm like, actually, there are some Baylor connections here.
Oh.
Some of them. So first, I'm going to go through. If y'all want the real good version of this, you should probably read it. But the one I was probably most intrigued with is this guy, Cam Kelly, because his name's Cameron, from North Carolina. Okay, he's a defensive back. He's played corner and he's played safety. So Baylor graduates. I don't know if they necessarily need this because I don't know what's behind them, but they graduate Mark Milton, your slot corner.
Yes.
Al Walcott, the star, has a year of eligibility left. He'll probably take it, but you don't know. And you lose Christian Morgan and Devin Neal at the safety position. And so you don't really have a lot of edge on this defense, especially with Dylan Doyle leaving and Apuika leaving. And this kid plays like reckless abandon. He plays green, and he gets featured on a lot of blitzes too.
Cops and robbers?
Yes, sure. So this kid can play corner, especially with his physicality. I think he'd be good as a slot corner. Safety, and he could play, I think, because of his size and strength, the star position. Again, don't know if that's going to be up because this kid only has 1 year of eligibility, but he's been pretty good for Mac Brown at Carolina. He was an all ACC player. He's got 5 or 6 picks in his career, which JT Woods did in one season, but you get my drift. And he's someone who has had a good career, but still needs a little bit of draft stock. And I think he's probably a better fit in the league as a safety from what I've seen. Color commentator for the China Spring Cougars, no big deal. Right. I know this stuff. And so I think if he comes to Baylor, plays safety, that's a real lift for
What's
the
kid's name again, please?
Cam Kelly.
Cam Kelly. All right.
Cam apostrophe Ron Kelly. Do you want me to just go through all of them? Do we have time to go through all of them?
We do. We're going to go through all of them. I go through the next one, and then I have to tell everybody about LinkedIn. But Cam Kelly is a safety that's going to make this new defense, along with new defensive coordinator, formerly along with Mac Brown, new Baylor defensive coordinator.
So I did preface this in the article because I have a couple of defensive players.
Do you have a cold, or is that just the?
No, I think I'm just going for the raspy voice. I think it just works better for me
with the mic, with the headset.
Yeah. So obviously, not knowing who the defensive coordinator is going to be is like the biggest part of this whole portal thing, because they're probably going to grab a guy from the Power 5, and so he's going to bring guys with him, and then we're going to know a little bit more about the defense.
So what you're saying again? We're just reiterating.
So I'm trying to fill in needs. Like
this
that's
list
what I'm
of guys has nothing to do with anything.
I wanted something on day one. I'm just looking at holes that Baylor's got because they've got plenty of them. Second one I'm looking at is on the defensive line, which underperformed this year. They had its moments. They really need interior defensive.
Is it a Tulsa D lineman?
They need defensive tackle.
Those always work out.
But there aren't really great defensive tackles in the portal yet. But the first name that jumped out to me is defensive end, because they might need a defensive end as well. And I was really hoping I wouldn't have to say his name out loud because I don't know if it's Demon or Damon. I'm guessing it's Damon. Damon Clowney. That name sound familiar to you? That name sound familiar to you?
It does. I saw that he was in the portal today.
That's because his cousin is former number 1 overall pick Jadeveon Clowney, who no matter what is better than this Clowney, but still, yes. So he's at Ole Miss. So
not anymore.
Barely played at Ole Miss. Okay, he was a 4-star guy out of high school, one of the most coveted defensive ends in the country. Do you have a question, Drake? Yeah,
I do. Mm-hmm. Remember Josh White?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy?
That's what the portal does, man. That's what the portal is. It's about these guys who haven't played, and you're just going off what they have in high school.
Look at
all those A&M guys.
What we were saying about Josh White.
He'll get a chance. He'll get a chance this spring. He'll get a chance. I don't know if he'll take it, but he'll get a chance. So Clowney is a lot like Josh White. So 4-star guy out of high school, commits to Ole Miss, but you know where he was committed for 6 months before that and then decommitted in December of 2019?
Louisiana State
The
University?
Louisiana State Tigers for defensive coordinator Dave Aranda.
I think it's
So
Aranda, but
I just like that a lot from the connection standpoint. I also put on this guy, Andre Carter from Western Michigan, who is the defensive end version of Jackson Player, just absolutely dominated at this level. I mean, was like an all MAC player, outstanding grad transfer. Don't know if you take that boat again, but that Jackson Player name is going to come up later. Drake, go ahead. You have another question.
I got another question. Remember Jackson Player?
I do.
Whatever happened to that guy?
In a vacuum, that has to be the most disappointing of this season. One player. Like, I really thought that guy was too big for the mid-majors. He is going to come in
Game
and
changer.
with all the attention being on Siaki Ika, he is going to get some numbers. And he got like one number.
Yeah.
He stunk. And I mean, to be fair, the whole defensive line did.
Yes. No. Well, Cam, speaking of one number, if you flip that around, it makes
number one.
Number one. And LinkedIn Talent Solutions is the number one place to find your next employee. You need an employee. Think about it right now. Think about it right now. Don't even think, actually. Just say yes. Yes or no, do I need an employee? The answer is yes. And you will be 100% certain to find the candidate that you want at LinkedIn Jobs. They help you find the right people for the hiring thing that you want to do. Add them, add your job, the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile. Spread the word. Tell people you're hiring. Simple tools, screening questions. Make it easy to find. Narrow things down like a funnel for people. And that funnels to the last person is there for you to do your job. It's number one in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. LinkedIn.com/lockedoncollege. Post your job for free. Terms and conditions do be applying. All right, so we got a Western Michigan kid. We got the Clowney.
Yeah, that was a throne. That was like an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Okay, so we got Clowney at Ole Miss. We've got Cam Kelly at UNC. I'm circling these guys on my list right now. K. Moss. And for those like Cam who don't know Spanish, that is what more?
So we've got four more, but I'm going to go through these first two pretty quickly. Speaking of, I said the Jackson Player name would come back. How about Justin Wright, linebacker, University of Tulsa? Okay, same thing, man. He's just had these incredible numbers. He had 101 tackles this year.
Wow.
And over the last two seasons, had 27.5 tackles for loss.
Oh,
Kid who got like no big offers out of high school at Abilene Cooper. Now he's attracting attention. Oklahoma State wants him bad. So that could be bad. But Dylan Doyle leaving. And so you not only need like a hard-hitting guy in the middle, you need an experienced guy in the middle. You know, like the Josh White could be great. Jackie Marshall could have a good season, all that. But
Jackie Marshall,
you need a linebacker who's been there, can call the defense.
Yep.
And I know he's not been in Aranda's system, but this kid has clearly had a ton of success. So then looking at the offensive line, because that you need to replace basically the whole damn thing, Drake. And the first one I'm looking at is Ladarius Henderson from Arizona State. Now he's a guard, and the bigger need is going to be tackle, but this kid has been a 3-year starter at Arizona State. He's from Waxahachie, so coming closer to home. Didn't start playing football until his junior year of high school, and he was starting as a true freshman in a game at Michigan State for Arizona State.
Did he play at Life?
No, he played at Waxahachie High.
Okay.
Not in China Springs District. Sorry about that. Wouldn't have been there anyway. So he was supposed to. He was going to go into the NFL draft this year. He had a hand injury that cut his season short. So he could still be in the draft. Same way with Cam Kelly. What was the first guy I said? You wrote it down. Cam Kelly.
Clowney?
I was right.
Cam Kelly.
I was right.
Cam Kelly.
And so he could still go to the draft, but he's an experienced guy. The way you like to power run, that the guard is almost as important as the tackle. Now, speaking of the tackle, Jeremiah Byers, from the University of Texas, El Paso.
I seem to remember one Gavin Byers.
I don't think there's a relation.
Okay, great.
But there is a crazy relation thing in here. If you haven't read it yet, this is fantastic. Jeremiah Byers, UTEP. Okay. Austin kid, didn't get like no offers out of high school. We're talking no disrespect to these schools, but like UTEP, Incarnate Word, that kind of thing. And so he goes to UTEP. You need to replace Connor Galvin. This kid's played right tackle. I imagine he can probably play left tackle as well. He is 6'6" and 331 pounds.
Is that good?
That's big. You can't teach that. Okay, so he's honorable mention for All Conference USA last year. He's going to be All Conference this year, and the Miners had like a really good offensive line. So I read. This is where it gets interesting, Drake. You're going to want to follow along here. Speaking of the transfer portal and speaking of Baylor, I read on UTEP's website, they got that personal section of it where it's like, father and mother are so-and-so, also ran track, blah, blah, blah. Well, his mother was a coach at the high school he went to. His father is the coach at Shadow Creek High School. You know who that is, Drake?
Kyron Drones.
That's Kevin Drones, Kyron Drones' father. Okay. Now Jeremiah has the same last name as his mother. So I don't know if this is a One Tree Hill situation. We don't need to get too personal in here. Doesn't say it in here.
Hold on.
By transitive property, his half brother is Kyron Drones,
who doesn't play for Baylor but did.
It could. He could be protecting for his brother. How about that? This is the things you learn. Breaking news here. And this kid's like getting a bunch of Power 5 offers. Like he is going to play in the Power 5 next year.
All right. Jeremiah Byers, half brother of Kyron Drones.
That's the most surprising thing of this whole article, which leads us into our last player, which is the second most surprising thing, as people will be laughing at this. Last one I've got in here, Eli Stowers, quarterback, Texas A&M.
What?
Look, quarterback isn't the most focal point for Baylor in the offseason, but they got to get someone in. We talked about it. It's no secret. You can't roll out there with 2 scholarship quarterbacks and one being a true freshman. That is a recipe for disaster. Now, there are a lot of quarterbacks going into the transfer portal who want to go somewhere and be QB1. Got news for you. There's not that many QB1 spots out there. So some are going to have to settle for QB2. This takes a lot of explaining because this is kind of crazy. So Baylor, in theory, for those of you who, think Blake Shapen isn't the answer, and I can hear that argument, in that case, there's probably going to be a competition in the spring. Okay? And love Austin Novosad, love his ceiling. He's a true freshman. Eli Stowers could think, look, I didn't get my shot at A&M. I learned a system. I think I know what it takes to be a college quarterback. Here, I can go to a major program who could be competing for a conference title, and I could come in and really battle for the starting job here. And, he's obviously a Texas kid. Denton Geyer had a terrific career there, and a big recruit only 2 years ago. He's only 19. I think Baylor will probably look for more experience at the quarterback, but Blake Shapen is your experienced guy. Will have played a whole season by then, been the starter. I'm just saying, Eli Stowers is out there. He's got a ton of talent. He looks like a guy who would kind of fit the mold in terms of being a dual threat guy. Accurate thrower. Wouldn't totally stun me. I say it's so crazy it might just work.
All right.
So those are my 6. Now again, the defensive ones are subject to change whenever the DC comes in. But I mean, realistically, where you really want to get guys would be the offensive line first and foremost, because you can't just roll out 4 or 5 new guys out there who haven't started for you or started college football games. You need someone out of there. I'd like to see if they could get a receiver out of the portal. I know these young guys have promise, and that's probably going to be their argument is we're deep at receiver already. But I would love to have someone like a Gavin Holmes, almost like an experienced, dependable guy who you can also have out there with them, or like an RJ Sneed would have been last year, and nose tackle. I'd like to see a little bit different in the secondary, but you do have some depth there. And linebacker has been plug and play. I think Brooks Miller is going to get a lot more time, but I would say offensive line, defensive tackle are going to be the big ones you're looking at.
All right.
And a backup quarterback.
We have Cam Kelly, Damon Clowney, or
I'm going to say
Damon.
Damon or Damon, yeah.
Justin Wright, Ladarius Henderson, who's a guard. We have Jeremiah Byers, who's a right tackle.
And these are guys I could find who actually have some sort of experience. It took a long time going through those tackles, those offensive tackles, Drake, because most of them haven't played.
Eli Stowers. So those are your guys. Those are your 6 guys. Your 5 and an honorable mention.
I will update this as the portal goes on. I know you guys are waiting on bated breath, but this is just day 1. I wanted to get something out there. Day 1.
I'm having fun.
600 guys going there.
By the way,
so
I'm watching the portal. It's like,
I'm into
this
this.
guy. Oh, this guy. We could go for this guy. We could go. It's like shopping. It's like, we're not losing that many guys, but we can go get the guys.
Hey, look. Hey.
You
know, you don't like bringing in a quarterback who doesn't have the experience. I'll raise you one. There's a quarterback with experience out there who knows this conference, also played high school football in Denton.
That would be someone who we're going to find out after I tell you about betonline.net. What a cliffhanger. Who's going to be Baylor's next quarterback? Maybe it's Blake Shapen, but they got to go get somebody out of the portal. Somebody asked me today, what are the odds that Baylor goes and gets a quarterback out of the portal? You know what I said? If I was going to go to betonline and see what the odds were, they'd be 100%. Like minus 10,000, because Baylor has one quarterback going into their very prestigious bowl game. Very prestigious. So that it means Baylor will have to go get one out of the portal. And betonline.net is like the portal, but for sports wagering. It's where the game starts. Go check it out today. Go mobile device, betonline. You can go online and you can bet. That's kind of how they get the name. Do it. Try it. If you don't, you'll be disappointed that you didn't do it. So go try it. betonline.net. They're doing specials and deals and stuff. All right, Cam. Who's that quarterback?
We know him well. He loves throwing to Baylor guys.
Oh, not Spencer Sanders.
Bet that at 10,000 to 1 on BetOnline. Spencer Sanders.
No. Does he have eligibility? Spencer Sanders is like
yeah. He must have a year. It must be only a year, but he's got eligibility.
Is he in the portal?
He's not. Yes, he put in today.
No.
Yesterday. Yes.
Spencer Sanders is in the portal?
Yes.
What rock was I under?
I don't know, man, but he is whole butt in that portal.
Oh, dude. He's going to trot out next. He's going to be Liberty's quarterback. That's what's going to freaking happen. Spencer Sanders and Charlie Brewer duking it out for the QB1 battle next year at Liberty. Gosh, Charlie Brewer, mind you, still top 5 in every quarterback category ever at Baylor University, will be a quarterback in the NCAA in 2023.
Bet that on BetOnline. He sure is.
Insane. Is he in the portal?
I don't think so.
My dream scenario, Charlie Brewer, Gary Bohannon, and Jacob Zeno all enter the portal.
And?
Baylor takes a gamble, man. It's a gamble. But they bring him back. Why not? What a storyline that would be. Also, I tweeted this. She said it would be a gamble if Baylor lost the rest of their games. It would have spared you Air Force in the Armed Forces Bowl. Again, she was prophetic. She was right about a lot of things. And we laughed. What is the Jesus meme? It's like they mocked him for they did not understand.
That's us.
Here's my wish list of players to get in the portal. So as you're out there
to get in the portal, you're saying that's in the portal to go get.
Yes.
Go get into the portal.
For those that are writing things down, that are writing these down and really taking them to heart.
Go in the portal and we watch it.
Yeah. My number 1 would be Tony Muskett. Yeah, that's right. Tony Muskett.
Quarterback. I'm already in.
Quarterback, Monmouth Hawks.
Nice.
Yes. No stars. None of that jazz. None of it.
Just
eye test. He's a pro-style quarterback, 6'2", 187, from West Potomac High School in Alexandria, Virginia. Tony Muskett.
Everyone knows a high school football team in Alexandria, Virginia. It's not that one, but they know high school football in Alexandria, Virginia. I tell you what.
Which is?
T.C. Williams High School is in Alexandria.
Sure. Quarterback from Arkansas, Malik Hornsby, really good. Reminds me a lot of Gary Bohannon, but way faster, smaller, like a receiver at quarterback. I like what Malik Hornsby gets. He's got 4 years of eligibility too. He adds a whole new dimension to your offense, and he runs like a 4.39, just stupid fast. I think it would be really versatile at the quarterback position. Quarterback wise too, I didn't know that Cade McNamara has already landed.
Iowa, yeah.
Kid's going to Iowa. There are
great place.
Brendan Lewis, quarterback from Colorado, has entered the portal because Dion went in and said, "Get in that portal," and he was like, "Yeah, you got me."
I was thinking about it anyway, but
now that you say it, fine. It's so funny to me. For those that haven't, if you haven't seen it, you've been under the same rock as me. But Dion walks into his press conference. It looks, he's like, "Where's Shadur?" His son, by the way. He's like, "Oh, there he is. That's y'all's quarterback." What? Like, no, not even a battle. Just like, "Oh, that's your quarterback right there." It's Michael Scott. What's wrong with nepotism? If they add tryouts to Van Hansen and someone without the last name Hansen showed up, how does that work?
Doesn't work. We need a little nepotism in this world. Ask Cade McNamara at Iowa.
Walks to the locker room. It's like, "You guys can leave. I'm bringing none of you are good enough. I'm bringing my own players. So see you later." I love it. It's like, it's Dave Aranda. It's much more flashy Dave Aranda. It's what Dave did to Gary Bohannon. He's like, "See you later. Sorry. Yeah, I'm giving you a chance to transfer. I'm not going to hang you on a I'm not going to fish you." Give me a quarterback. Any of these guys, man. Hank Backmeyer from Boise. Drew Pine, Notre Dame. The Slovis kid from Pitt. I don't know how he didn't work out. I really like Brennan Armstrong, though, at Virginia. I don't know really.
Yeah, I think he'll be one of those QB1 slots, though.
DJ Uiagalelei.
Correct.
Did you say he's just Blake Shapen? Somebody said that on Twitter the other day. Maybe that's the case.
I think I said Quinn Ewers was Blake Shapen.
If you took, this is a good question. I'm going to tell myself it's a good question. If you took all of the best players from the transfer portal, take all the best guys, like per 24/7, the top 5 offensive linemen, top 2 quarterbacks, yada yada, make a team, 80-man roster. How many games does it win?
It's got
to be a lot of games, man.
I don't know because I guess, but
it's got to be. It's the NFL. It's kind of what the NFL does a little bit.
But so many of these guys are just guys who haven't played. Like, for each of those Brennan Armstrongs and Theo Weises, love get Theo Weiss in the door here. There's 10 Josh Whites,
Right, but you don't need 10. You just need 2 experienced linebackers in this team that we've created. We get to be the coaches, too.
Oh, well, in that case, you've seen me break down film. You've seen it quite a lot. You've seen me analyze. I think we'd go 10-2.
Yeah. Josh Gregory's the AD.
11-2 because we go to the conference championship.
Tyler Beatty's on staff somewhere in there. DB coach.
That man can talk. He can motivate.
Make it happen. That is today's transfer portal breakdown. Look, I want to be honest with you guys.
This is where you go. It's where you go. A guy who was just looking this up during a meeting earlier.
Yeah, there's not. We don't have. Maybe we're just kind of throwing darts at a dartboard that are very blunt, and there's no dartboard there. It's just the wall, and that is a little bit of what the first day of transfer portal is like. When you're Alabama, you're looking at these guys legitimately saying, "Who?"
Alabama's got a good guard out there, by the way.
When you're Baylor, you're saying, "Well, here are all the best players. We're probably not going to get them, but here's the hope." And not a lot of guys. You got to be a special player to play at Baylor, which is what we like. It's prestigious. Speaking of prestigious, that guy's Cameron Stuart. He works for Inside the Bears, Sports Illustrated. I work for Sports Illustrated's Inside the Bears too, and Locked On Baylor. Find us at Locked On Baylor. Last month's listenership was really good. You guys.
Oh, dude. I did a tweet last night about Hendon Hooker, and it
did it bomb?
It auto-corrected to Henson, and I just noticed it. I am a little salty about that.
I hardly know her. Yeah, not going to the Heisman. Yeah, what? Max Duggan, you have 15 seconds.
He played 10.5 games, Hendon Hooker, and he was the best player by far. He doesn't even get an invite. I don't care if Max Duggan wins it. He seems like a really nice guy. I don't think he was the best player in college football this year, and it will be one that we look back and it's a weak one. He wasn't as good as like Bryce Petty in that 2013 season. Nowhere near as good as those Deshaun Watson years. But
Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. But this is a weak year for it. They won't care. But
Caleb Williams can't win it after the LOL tweet. That was one of the worst things I've seen.
That's just bad.
It's just bad.
It sucks. But the region's going to vote. The regions West will vote for him. So
Parker Thune will also vote for him.
Really?
Maybe.
The Caleb Williams guy? Parker Thune knows what he's talking about. He's a Heisman voter, too.
Exactly. Drake told Cameron Stuart, Locked On Baylor, Inside the Bears. Tomorrow, come back. John Garcia Jr.'s on the show.
Recruiting expert the day after we talk about the transfer portal.
Yeah, sorry about that. On Locked On Baylor.